What's going on, everybody? My name is Blake, representing the Duelist Club, and I'm going to be showing you the Tenyi profile deck. I know it's been a while since I said anything about making this deck. Uh, Mostly because I've been busy with a lot of stuff, and I'm just now getting around to it because it took a pretty good while to actually get all this stuff set up. So just know if there's something in this version of the deck that I've made, if there's anything wrong with it or you think that needs some improvements, please let me know in the comments. It would really help me a lot. So let's just go ahead and I'll show you what I've got for this. So for my first three main monsters, I run 3 copies of Mare. I'm going to try to format this a little bit better. So I run 3 copies of Mare. Mare is is a very big essential part for the deck because it helps you get out your linked monsters and also your synchro monsters. It's a pretty good card just to help you get out those helping monsters. I'm gonna tilt this camera down so you guys can see that a little bit better. Okay, there we go. So yeah, this one, what I really like about this is this deck is reliant on Mare, of course, but it's super easy to get out with other effects with such as Shaman, because Shaman allows it to special summon. So it's really good for that reason. And then going on to our Tenyi monsters, I run 3 copies of Adhara. I'm going to try to keep this. It's kind of hard to make this as nice and easy as possible. There we go. Adhara, if you don't know what Tennies do, if you've never actually seen anything before now, they have their main effect is whenever you control no effect monsters on the field, you can special summon them from your hand. But they also have hand and graveyard, not graveyard, sorry, banishing effects from either the hand or graveyard. So I'm just going to be reading off their banishing effects. So when Adhara is banished from the hand or graveyard, you can add 1 banished monster to your hand. 1 banished Tenyi monster from your hand, which is really good. Helps with trying to cycle your monsters. This one is actually, I'm going to kind of go over the prices a little bit. Adhara is a little bit expensive right now, not too expensive. I think it's like $3 for this one right now. Maybe $3-4, I say. $3-4. I'm not too updated on the prices, but I think that's about right. For the effect of this, I normally get out Vishada, 3 copies of Vishada. Like I said, I'm trying to make this as nice as possible so you guys can see that. So yeah, 3 copies of Vishada, or Vajutta, whatever you want to call it. The banishing effect is you can target one card on your opponent's side of the field and then return that card to the hand, which is really good if you're trying to disrupt something or if your opponent just has a really powerful monster. The problem with this card, I guess, is it targets, which is not always the best thing ever. I'm going to try and zoom in because I'm afraid you guys I assume you guys could see that, just hopefully it's not too bad. Let me try doing something real quick so you guys can. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see that better a little bit. Alright, so next, 3 copies of Nathana. I think I'm pronouncing these guys right, I hope. Nathana. The banishing effect of Nathana is if your opponent tries to attack a non-effect monster you currently control, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, and that attacking monster loses 1500 attack until the end of the turn, which is really good, especially when you have low attacking monsters like Monk on the field, and you really have no other options of getting around it. I accidentally hit that by accident. There we go. 3 Impura. 3 copies of Impura. And this one is also Nathana is kind of a quick effect. It acts as if it was a quick effect, but it doesn't read as a quick effect. Impura is definitely a quick effect card. Meaning whenever your opponent targets or activates a card effect that would target a non-effect monster, you can activate the quick effect, which is banishing it and then negating that activation, which targets your non-effect monster, which is really good. And then I also run 2 Shithana. Mainly because I never actually seen this card be that great. I mean, it's good. It's really good. It helped whenever the banishing effect is whenever a non-effect monster would be destroyed this turn, you can banish this card and special summon that non-effect monster back, or you can special summon 1 non-effect monster back from the graveyard, which is good. It's just I don't see it as an occurring thing that much, and I don't know. It's good, but it help. I guess what's really good about it is whenever you link off. So whenever you get into Shaman, because with Shaman you need to worm monsters in order to summon it. So normally you would use a monk to use it as synchro, or not synchro, as link material, and then you would activate this card's effect in graveyard to special summon the monk back, which I guess that would be a good idea. It's just I don't see the effect recurring all that often, so I'm gonna move this camera. Sorry, I'm moving like a lot of stuff right now because I want you guys to be able to see it. So I want you guys to, there we go. 1 Phantom Skyblaster. You don't really normal summon in this deck as often, so what I decided to do is I decided to have at least a additional, or this could definitely be your normal summon if you don't get it off at all. Whenever it is normal summoned, depending on how many monsters you currently control, that's how many link monsters, or not link monsters, that's how many tokens you can get out on the field, which again is the best thing for link material, especially when you're trying to get into other things. So yeah, 1 Phantom Skyblaster. And then I run 2 hand traps, which are 2 Ash Blossoms. I don't have Ghost Ogre. I would probably put Ghost Ogre in here if I owned some Ghost Ogre, but if I owned Ghost Ogre, but no, not right now anyway. Ash Blossom, just a good way to stop your opponent from drawing cards. So these are the monsters, and like I said, if you have any sort of suggestions on how to help me out, make this deck a little bit better, please let me know. So going on to spells, 3 Instafusion. This was kind of my decision. I made. Sorry, I'm gonna try to get these centered a little bit. There we go. This was kind of a personal decision of mine to add 3. Mostly because I want the occurring fusion monster, which is Swamp Dragon, which I'll show you later on. Now, with Instafusion, this is kind of your protections with Shaman or any other Tenyi monster, because your opponent is going to try to stop you from activating any sort of effects involving your Tenyis. So Instafusion is really good for that whenever you're special summoning your Mud Dragon, because Mud Dragon would protect it, and I'll show you later on what I mean by that. Going on to 3 Vessel of the Dragon Cycle. Again, I'm trying to. So Vessel is again, this is a good combo piece. This is your essential combo piece for the deck. It allows you to send 1 worm monster to your from your deck to the graveyard. Also, if you control a non-effect monster, you can add one Tenyi monster from your deck to your hand. So it allows you to break out some serious combos with the current version. Now, this is another personal choice of mine. I don't really see too many people doing this, but I run 2 Flawless Perfection. The reason why I run 2 Flawless Perfection is it's not that it's not a good card. It's just I don't always need to see it. It's like I said, it's really good. It's just you don't always need to see it. And I think the reoccurring of having 3, so if you have more than one in your hand, because I do actually see that a little bit more than normal. Whenever you see that, the reoccurring of like everything, you don't really want to see this card always in your hand, especially if you have multiple of a card, because you really only need one. So I run 2 just because it's good, but it's not as good as I would hope. Going on to I run 2 World Legacy Succession for link summoning, of course, helping you get your links out. This card's a little bit more expensive than the rest. He's like, I think $8 or $10 right now. But the good thing is he is getting reprint, so it's not the end of the world right there. Again, just a really good reoccurring like Monster Reborn. 2 Pot of Desires. Pot of Desires works really good for this deck, mainly because your banishing monsters don't really hurt you at all. There's no problems with that. And then 1 Foolish Burial. And that is also, the Foolish Burial is to get your Mare out, of course. So let's go ahead and go to the traps. There aren't too many traps to discuss. I run the 3 Unrivaled Tenyi, which is like your negation trap card, which if your opponent activates any sort of spell, trap, or monster effect while you control a non-effect monster, you can activate this card and negate that activation. Also, if your opponent would to destroy this card by a card effect, you can special summon 1 non-effect monster from your extra deck. So you could summon your Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is just hard to get around. This is another idea of mine. I thought that would be good too. Breakthrough Skill. Breakthrough Skill just stops your opponent from activating effects the turn. Like, it basically does it twice. Monster effects, it stops monster effects both turns. So when you activate it first time, it negates the monster effect. And then when you activate it a second time by banishing it, it also negates the monster effect, which is really good. And then I have 2 Waterfall. 2 Waterfall of the Dragon Soul, because this one searches out your Tenyi monsters, because it's just really good for that reason. You could run it at 3 if you want. It's not really just my personal choice. Going on to extra deck. I run, if I can get it out. There we go. 3 Monk. Monk is your essential go-to piece, especially when summoning it out. So you always want to see this this is also a reoccurring piece that you want to see. And with Monk, you always want to go ahead and make your Shaman. Shaman is definitely a staple card in this deck. More expensive right now. I think she's like $4 or $5 right now. What's good about her is not only she doesn't have too much of a requirement to summon, but whenever you can discard 1 card from your hand and special summon 1 worm monster from your graveyard, which means you can get out Mare and make tokens. And then also she has another effect, which is if your opponent if you would attack an opponent with a non-effect monster, then you can target this card chained to this effect and pop a card on the field, which is super good. I run 2 Berserker, if I can place that without. 2 Berserker, it's just a beef stick right now. Really good card to have. Not too hard to get out, especially whenever you have Mare on the field. I was thinking about cutting this down to 1, but let me know what you guys think. And then one Gaia Saber, and I also run a Link Kuriboh because you need a Link monster to get this guy out. Going on to fusions, I have 2 Mud Dragon. This is the card I was talking about earlier, where this card really does protect. Whenever he is summoned, you can target. It's a quick effect too, so you can target any card on the field, and that card's typing becomes this, and all monsters with the same type cannot be targeted or destroyed by battle, which helps you with Shaman. Then going on to your ultimate, your Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Again, just a huge beef stick. Really good for this deck, especially if your opponent tries to do any sort of twin twistering on your side. And then I have 2 Synchros, which is Zyframe of Manga Overlord and Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. These 2, again, are just for your combo pieces if you ever get into your Synchros. Now, there's not too much going on with this deck right now, but for right now, if you have any suggestions on how to help me out with this deck, I would really like that. But thank you guys anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.